Chosen ones, today, February 1st, marks more than just the turning of a calendar page. It signifies the opening of a specific portal of divine action. If you have found your way to this message, understand that it was not an algorithmic accident, but a spiritual alignment. There is a palpable urgency in the atmosphere today. God is interrupting your normal programming, your carefully laid plans, and your daily routine, because there is an emergency in the spirit realm that requires your physical intervention. You must realize that as a chosen one, you are not merely a passive believer waiting for blessings to fall. You are a tactical agent of God on earth. The message for today is clear, direct, and non-negotiable. There is someone specific who needs your help right now, and the Creator is issuing a command for you to move. Before we identify exactly who this person is and how you must assist them, we must address your own readiness to serve. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and God desires for you to operate from a place of overflow, not depletion. If you feel that you are meant for more but find yourself held back by invisible barriers, I invite you to explore the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This is not just a collection of concepts. It is a practical map designed for the chosen to awaken to who they really are, heal those deep-seated invisible traumas, and expand with stability. It teaches you how to receive, sustain, and multiply your blessings without guilt. This trilogy, available as both an ebook and an audiobook, is a guide to clearing the fog so you can hear these divine instructions clearly. If this resonates with your spirit, you can find the link in the pinned comment or description to begin that journey. Returning to the mandate of this hour, we must understand the fundamental difference between a good idea and a divine command. A good idea is a fleeting thought, a whisper that suggests it would be nice to be charitable. A divine mandate is different. It is a weight, a pressure in the chest, a face that refuses to leave the theater of your mind. God is not asking for your opinion on this matter. He is recruiting your obedience. You might ask why you have been selected for this task. It is because the chosen possess a specific vibrational frequency and a capacity for spiritual empathy that the rest of the world has numbed. You are a conduit. When the divine wants to pull someone out of a pit, he does not throw resources from the clouds. He uses the hands of a chosen one. There is a spiritual law in play here known as the law of divine circulation. Your own prosperity, your peace, and your next level of ascension may very well be blocked behind this single act of obedience. The flow has stopped because there is a dam that needs to be opened, and that dam is your action toward this specific individual. If you are sensing that this message is for you, take a moment to click the like button, not for the sake of the video, but as a physical sign of your agreement to listen to the Spirit today. Now, the question remains, who is this person? Your ego will attempt to hijack this process. It will try to convince you that the person you need to help is someone who deserves it, or perhaps someone who is easy to love. However, the Holy Spirit operates on a different frequency. Frequently, the person God is highlighting is the one who has been lingering in your subconscious for the last 3 days. Perhaps it is a name that surfaced in a dream just before you woke up. Maybe it is someone you crossed paths with and felt a sudden, unexplained pang of sorrow for. Or more challenging still, it might be someone who appears proud and put together on the outside, someone who would never ask for help, yet their spirit is screaming for rescue. God reveals this identity through what we call the imposition of thought. You try to focus on your work or your family, but this person's face returns. This is not obsession. This is intercessory intelligence. God is transmitting the coordinates of the target to you. It could be a family member you have drifted from, an old friend, or a complete stranger that the Spirit will point out to you before this day ends. Be hyper-aware of synchronicities, such as hearing their name repeatedly in conversation or on the radio, or feeling a physical sensation of urgency in your gut when they cross your mind. Do not dismiss these signs as coincidences. They are the breadcrumbs leading you to your mission. It is crucial that you do not assume the help required is financial, although it certainly could be. Many chosen ones fall into the trap of thinking they must save the world with resources they do not currently possess, leading to paralysis. The order is specific to your capacity and their need. For some of you, the help is a word of affirmation that will shatter a curse of despair in that person's mind. For others, the command is forgiveness. It is possible that God is ordering you to help someone by releasing them from the debt they owe you, thereby freeing both of you from a karmic cycle that has dragged on for too long. For others still, it is simply presence, a phone call, a visit, a physical reminder that they are not invisible. The help God orders is often the master key that unlocks the specific prison cell that person is trapped in. You hold that key. It might be a piece of advice you learned years ago, a prayer prayed with authority in their presence, or a simple meal. The magnitude of the gesture in the eyes of society is irrelevant. What matters is the precision of your obedience. If you are willing to be that key today, consider subscribing to this channel to join a community of others who are walking this same path of tactical obedience. However, be warned. The moment you receive the revelation of who this person is, the enemy will launch a counterattack. This attack will not come as a monster, but as a rationalization. You will hear thoughts like, "They don't deserve my help," or "I am too busy right now," or "I will look foolish if I reach out." This hesitation is the assassin of miracles. When God issues a kairos command, a command for a specific opportune time, speed is of the essence. There is a window of opportunity in the spiritual realm that is open right now, on February 1st. If you wait until tomorrow, the window may close. The crisis that person is facing may reach an irreversible tipping point. We must remember the story of Jonah. Running from the mandate to help Nineveh did not result in peace. It resulted in a storm. The turbulence you are feeling in your own life might be the result of a lingering hesitation to help whom God has sent you to. You must act against your fear, against your pride, and against your convenience. By helping this person, you are doing far more than solving a temporary issue. You are altering timelines. Your intervention acts as a ripple effect that can prevent generational tragedies. You are an agent of destiny, stepping in to redirect a life back toward the light. Furthermore, what you do for others, you ultimately do for yourself and for the divine. By extending your hand now, you activate a harvest in your own life. God is indebted to no man. When you take care of God's business, which is his children in need, he takes care of your business. There is an unblocking of financial, emotional, and spiritual stagnation that awaits your yes. But let your motivation be love, not reward. You are being the hands of mercy on earth today. Do not close this session and simply return to the comfort of your routine. The order has been given. The name is likely already in your mind, or it will be revealed in the quiet moments that follow. Pick up your phone, go to their house, write the letter, send the transfer. Whatever the instruction is, do it now. Let us seal this commitment with a declaration of intent, breaking any demonic resistance that would try to glue your feet to the floor. Say this with your spirit: Father, I present myself as your servant. Reveal to me clearly who needs me today. I break every barrier of ego, fear, and scarcity thinking. I am your channel. Use me to transform the life of this person and glorify your name. I choose to obey right now. As you move forward from this moment, pay close attention to the subtle shifts in your environment. For once you say yes, the universe begins to rearrange itself to support your mission. But there is one final secret about this assignment that you must know. The secret is that the person you are sent to help is often holding the key to your own next level of spiritual authority. We tend to view charity or assistance as a one-way street where power flows from the giver to the receiver. But the architecture of the kingdom is far more paradoxical. When you extend your hand to lift someone out of the mire, you are physically and spiritually positioning yourself in a posture of strength that the universe must then sustain. You cannot lift another without finding a firm footing yourself. Therefore, the very act of obeying this command to help is the mechanism God uses to stabilize your own foundation. The person in need is not an interruption to your life. They are a catalyst for your stabilization. They are the friction required for you to gain traction. If you ignore them, you remain slipping in the mud of your own stagnation, wondering why your prayers for advancement are going unanswered. The answer was standing right in front of you, disguised as a burden you were too busy to carry. This realization changes everything because it shifts your perspective from obligation to opportunity. You are not losing time or resources. You are investing in the spiritual infrastructure of your future. However, navigating this path requires more than just good intentions. It requires a deep understanding of how to operate as a vessel of abundance rather than a hoarder of scarcity. This is where many of the chosen get stuck, blocked by invisible scripts of guilt or unworthiness that prevent them from fully stepping into their role. If you feel that these internal blocks are still operating in the background of your mind, limiting your ability to give and receive freely, I strongly encourage you to explore the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This trilogy is designed specifically for people like you, those who sense a higher calling but struggle to align their earthly reality with their spiritual potential. It offers a practical map to awaken to who you really are, healing those deep-seated traumas and teaching you how to receive, sustain, and multiply blessings without the heavy burden of guilt. Whether you choose to read the ebook or immerse yourself in the audiobook during your daily commute, this resource serves as a guide to stabilizing your expansion so you don't collapse under the weight of your own growth. You can find the link to The 3 Keys to a Prosperous Life in the pinned comment or the description below. Do not let another season pass without equipping yourself with the tools to master your own abundance. Returning to the mission at hand, we must understand the biological and psychological impact of this obedience. When you override the instinct of self-preservation to care for another, you are literally rewiring your nervous system. Modern psychology calls this the helper's high, a release of oxytocin and dopamine, but spiritually, it is the breaking of the orphan spirit. The orphan spirit is that voice that whispers, "I must look out for myself because no one else will." It is the root of greed, anxiety, and isolation. By acting as a provider for someone else, you declare to your own subconscious and to the spiritual realm that you are not an orphan, but a son or daughter of the King, possessing access to infinite resources. You step out of the scarcity loop and into the flow of the river. Consider the Dead Sea. It is dead because it receives water from the Jordan River but has no outlet. The water evaporates, leaving behind salt and minerals so concentrated that no life can sustain itself. Many people pray to be the Jordan, but they live like the Dead Sea. They want the inflow of blessings, money, and energy, but they have blocked the outflow. They hoard their time, they protect their emotions, and they clutch their finances. As a result, their spiritual life becomes toxic and stagnant. The assignment you have received today to help this specific person is God taking a sledgehammer to the dam you have built. He is trying to create an outlet so that fresh water can once again flow through you. If you refuse to let the water out, you cannot complain that the water coming in has stopped. The flow is continuous, but it requires an open channel at both ends. This brings us to a critical distinction: the difference between a divine interruption and a demonic distraction. You might be asking, how do I know if this person is truly my assignment or just a drain on my energy? This is a valid question, for the enemy also sends people to waste your time. The marker of a divine assignment is rarely convenience, but it is always accompanied by a specific type of peace. A weighty, solemn peace that sits in your gut even while your mind is objecting. A distraction, on the other hand, usually appeals to your ego or your desire to be liked, but leaves you feeling empty and drained afterward. The assignment we are speaking of today likely does not stroke your ego. In fact, it might be humiliating. It might require you to apologize, to serve someone who has been unkind to you, or to give anonymously so that you receive no public credit. The anonymity factor is powerful. If you help this person and immediately post about it on social media or tell 5 friends what a good deed you did, you have essentially short-circuited the spiritual voltage of the act. You have traded an eternal reward for a temporary dopamine hit of social validation. The scriptures are clear on this. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Secrecy builds spiritual pressure, and that pressure eventually erupts as open reward. When you contain the energy of the good deed, keeping it between you and God, it acts as a seed planted in dark, fertile soil. Exposing it to the light too early halts the germination process. If you want to see a shift in your reality, you must learn the discipline of silence regarding your benevolence. There is also a temporal dimension to this obedience. We spoke of kairos time, the opportune moment. In the ancient Greek understanding of time, there was chronos, which is sequential clock time, and kairos, which is a moment of indeterminate time in which everything happens. When you get the nudge to call that person or to send that money, you are standing on the threshold of a kairos moment. If you delay by 3 hours, the chronos time has moved forward and the kairos window may have aligned elsewhere. The person may have made a different decision in their desperation. They may have turned to a loan shark or sunk into a depression that will now take years to reverse. Your speed is their safety. Furthermore, we must address the concept of the ripple effect. You are not just helping one individual, you are influencing a lineage. Let us imagine the person you are called to help is a single mother struggling to pay for a specific course or certification. By stepping in and covering that cost, you are not just paying a bill, you are altering the economic trajectory of her children. You are preventing the stress that would otherwise cause illness in her body. You are allowing her to be present for her children instead of working 3 low-paying jobs. 20 years from now, one of those children might be a leader, a healer, or an innovator who changes the world. That future reality is tethered to your obedience today. You are the silent co-author of biographies that haven't been written yet. Do not underestimate the magnitude of a small act performed with great love. If this perspective is shifting something within you, if you feel the scales falling from your eyes regarding your role in the world, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you signal that you are ready for this level of deep, tactical, spiritual training, and you join a phalanx of others who are moving from passive belief to active duty. Now, we must confront the resistance of the logical mind. Your logic is a tool for survival in the physical world, but it is often a liability in the spiritual world. Logic says, I have bills to pay, I cannot afford to give. Kingdom logic says, I have a harvest to reap, therefore I must sow. These are 2 different operating systems. You cannot run kingdom software on the hardware of worldly fear. When you operate from logic, you look at the seed in your hand and say, this is too small to make a difference. I might as well eat it. When you operate from faith, you look at the same seed and say, this is too small to be my harvest. Therefore, it must be my seed. The person God has highlighted to you is your soil. It is crucial to understand that the soil does not need the seed. The seed needs the soil. The ground will remain ground whether you plant in it or not. But the seed will die alone and fruitless if it is not buried. Your resources, your time, your encouragement, these are seeds. If you keep them in the jar of your own life, they remain dormant potential. You must bury them in the need of another to unlock the life that is inside them. This requires a death of sorts, the death of your attachment to the resource. You must be willing to let it go, trusting that the laws of the universe are as consistent as gravity. But what if the person you help betrays you later? This is the fear that paralyzes many. I helped them and they turned around and stabbed me in the back. This is a painful reality, and it happened to the greatest masters of history, including Christ himself. However, your reward does not come from the person you help. It comes from the God who sent you. If the person mishandles your gift or responds with ingratitude, that is a matter between them and the divine. Your account is settled the moment you obey. Do not attach strings to your kindness, for strings are just leashes that bind you to the other person's reaction. If you give with the expectation of gratitude, you are not giving, you are trading. You are buying their validation with your help. True charity is an act of freedom that releases both the giver and the receiver. Let's go deeper into the mechanics of the transfer. When you interact with this person, you are engaging in an energetic exchange. If you approach them with pity, you are actually weakening them. Pity says, "You are poor and helpless and I am big and strong." It reinforces their victimhood. Instead, you must approach them with compassion and honor. You must see the king or queen hidden under the rags of their current circumstance. When you help them, do it in a way that preserves their dignity. "I am doing this because I believe in who you are" is a much different message than "I am doing this because you are a mess." The spirit of the person will feel the difference. You are not just restoring their circumstances, you are restoring their vision of themselves. There is a specific demonic strategy known as isolation by shame. When people are in a crisis, financial, marital, or emotional, the enemy convinces them to withdraw. They stop answering texts, they stop showing up to gatherings, they hide. This is dangerous because a wolf always separates the sheep from the flock before attacking. By reaching out, you are disrupting this strategy of isolation. Your phone call, your visit, your letter, it pierces the veil of shame and tells them, you are seen, you are not forgotten. You are essentially throwing a lifeline to someone who has already stopped swimming. Consider the story of Elijah and the widow of Zarephath. The prophet asked her for her last meal. Logic would call this cruel. Why take from a dying widow? But the spiritual principle was that her provision was locked behind her willingness to give what little she had. By provoking her to give, the prophet was actually saving her life. Sometimes, your assignment is not just to give to someone, but to allow someone to do something for you, or to engage them in a way that pulls them out of their passivity. However, in the context of the assignment we are discussing today, the focus is primarily on you breaking your own pattern of withholding. As you prepare to execute this command, be aware of the logic of delay. The enemy will not tell you no. He will simply tell you, later. I'll do it after I get paid. Or I'll call them this weekend when I have more time. Later is the most deceptive word in the vocabulary of the chosen. Later is a graveyard where dreams and miracles go to die. The impulse you felt was for now. The energy required to overcome the static friction is available now. If you wait, the impulse will cool, the logic will kick in, and the opportunity will be lost. If you are finding value in this breakdown of spiritual tactics, and you want to ensure you don't miss the next transmission, verify that you have notifications turned on. The algorithm often hides this kind of content because it challenges the status quo of passive consumption. We are building a community of active operators, and your presence is vital. Now let us address the concept of spiritual equity. Every time you act on a divine impulse, you build equity in the spirit realm. You become known as a trusted courier. God is always looking for distribution centers, people he can trust to move resources from heaven to earth without skimming off the top or hoarding the supply. When you prove you can move $100 to the right person, you qualify to move 1,000. When you prove you can give an hour of your time to listen to a broken heart, you qualify to carry the wisdom that heals multitudes. You are auditioning for your next role. The person in front of you is the test. There is also a cleansing aspect to this assignment. Many of you are carrying the residue of past seasons, old guilts, old failures, old words spoken over you. Acts of radical kindness act as a solvent. They wash the soul. There is a purity that comes from selfless action that no amount of meditation or study can replicate. It is the soap of action. If you feel dirty, heavy, or cluttered internally, go serve someone. It will scrub your spirit clean. You will walk away lighter. We must also consider the cloud of witnesses. The scriptures suggest that we are surrounded by those who have gone before us. Your life is a theater, and the audience is the host of heaven. When you choose love over fear, when you choose generosity over greed, there is a reaction in the stands. You are honoring the legacy of every ancestor who prayed for you to be where you are. You are the answer to the prayers of your grandmothers and great-grandfathers who endured so that you could have the capacity to help others. Do not let their sacrifice end in a cul-de-sac of selfishness. Keep the blessing moving. One final practical instruction on the approach. When you reach out to this person, listen more than you speak. We often rush in with solutions before we have fully understood the problem. The person may need the money, yes, but they may need the listening ear even more. The financial or material help might just be the ticket of admission to speak into their life. Be sensitive. Ask questions. How are you really doing? What is the heaviest thing you are carrying right now? Let them unload. The ministry of listening is rare in a noisy world. By listening, you validate their existence. As you move to act, remember that fear is just excitement without breath. Breathe through the hesitation. The nervousness you feel is simply your body preparing for a jump. You are jumping timelines. You are moving from a timeline where you are a passive observer of suffering to a timeline where you are an active agent of redemption. This brings us to the boomerang of judgment. Often, the person we are called to help is someone we have previously judged. We looked at their situation and thought they did this to themselves, or they are irresponsible. Yet God often sends us to the very people we have criticized to break the spirit of judgment in us. You cannot truly help someone you look down on. To fulfill this assignment, you must descend from the pedestal of your moral superiority and meet them on the level ground of grace. Remember, you are one bad decision, one accident, one crisis away from being in their shoes. Mercy triumphs over judgment. So, the stage is set. The actors are in place. You have the script in your hand. The instruction to go, to give, to heal. The only variable left is your will. Will you fold the script and put it in your pocket, or will you read your lines? The universe is waiting for your voice. The angels are waiting for your movement. But there is one more layer to this, a layer that most people miss entirely. It involves the concept of the vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you empty your hand to give, you create a vacuum. Physics dictates that this vacuum must be filled. However, what it is filled with depends on the posture of your heart. If you give with fear, I hope I don't run out, you fill the vacuum with anxiety. If you give with faith and joy, you create a suction force that pulls in the resources of heaven. The secret is not just in the emptying, but in the expectation of the refill. You must live with an expectancy that the God who ordered the expense will provide the supply. And this leads to a dangerous truth. Sometimes the person you help will not be grateful. In fact, they might be resentful. Why? Because your help exposes their inability to help themselves. It wounds their pride. If you encounter this reaction, anger, sarcasm, or coldness, do not take it personally. It is the defense mechanism of a wounded ego. Your job is to deliver the package, not to force them to like the mailman. Leave the gift and retreat. Do not engage in an argument about your generosity. Silence is the seal of your integrity. There is a rhythm to this lifestyle of obedience. It is like a heartbeat. Contract, receive, expand, give. Contract, expand. If the heart only contracts, it bursts. If it only expands, it stops. You must find the rhythm. This assignment is your expansion phase. You have likely been in a contraction phase, learning, gathering, saving, healing. That is good. But now the beat must change. It is time to push the blood out to the extremities of the body. If you are still here listening to this, it is because your spirit recognizes the truth of these words. You are tired of the shallow end of the pool. You want the deep waters, but deep waters require strong swimming skills. This is your training. The person on your mind right now, yes, that one, is your training partner. They are the weight you must lift to build the muscle of faith. Do not overthink the how. The how will present itself once the yes is spoken. You might think, I don't have the money to help them. Look again. Maybe you have something to sell. Maybe you have a skill you can trade. Maybe you just need to connect them with someone else who has the money. Resources are not always cash. Your network is a resource. Your wisdom is a resource. Your time is a resource. God rarely demands what you do not have. He demands that you release what you do have. As you go, walk with the confidence of an ambassador. An ambassador does not worry about the cost of the embassy's dinner. The government pays for it. You are reppy.